Hello, welcome back to my channel. In the previous two videos, I talked about how many people sabotage themselves without even realizing it. I also mentioned leverage as a smarter way to turn things around and produce results in your life more easily. I will leave in the eye in the upper right corner the link to the two videos before this one, in which I talked about self-sabotage and why you don't realize this is happening to you. It is common to hear in our society that you have to make huge efforts and fight for what you want. There are even people who use the word warrior or fighter for various situations without realizing that these concepts bring with them a lot of resistance, and with it, things become heavier in the process and therefore more difficult to attain. Every time you start to fight, to battle, to be a warrior, or when you say that you are a survivor of something, that you are healing, you are actually activating non conscious memories of struggle, battles, and wars. These are non conscious weaknesses because they can come from other lifetimes, from your ancestors, or even from the collective of humanity. However, they get activated in you, as I have already mentioned many times in the videos that I stream live on Sundays on my Facebook page, Evolutionary Bioenergetics. In those videos that I stream live, I instantly erase these memories and weaknesses through the technology that we have in our central nervous system. I do immediate improvements for the people who are connected live. However, everything I mentioned that is also in you will improve even if you watch them on replay, because this is quantum. And when we talk about the quantum field, time and distance as perceived by our five physical senses are irrelevant. I also do one-on-one sessions online anywhere in the world in English and Spanish. If you want me to collaborate with you to improve any issue and erase your weaknesses, please send me an email to the address on the screen. Check the description box below this video for more information. So, going back to effort, struggles, and battles. These are things that people don't consider and simply repeat these phrases due to common usage and social influence. Some say, don't take it so literally, without realizing that the subconscious mind is just a recorder and does not distinguish between sayings, idioms, jokes, or what you say seriously. There are many cases in which people say this because they have unresolved memories of these types of events, either themselves or among their ancestors. The more a person feels this way, the more they are connecting with the weaknesses related not only to fighting, efforts, and struggle, but also to memories of loss and defeat. This isn't about believing. In fact, in the free live group sessions, I've said on numerous occasions that this does not depend on dogma or your particular belief system. Even animals inherit weaknesses from their ancestors and from other lifetimes. They too have memories of past events stored in their bodies, and it's clear that animals have no beliefs whatsoever. In the years that I've been doing this, I've noticed that people continuously sabotage themselves many times during the day and don't even realize what they are doing. They're not aware that they're going against themselves. Some even say, I don't sabotage myself, because the logical mind tells you it already knows everything, but you are not your mind. The logical mind is just a collection of your memories and your past experiences from your very particular and subjective point of view, meaning it tends to distort things because instead of being neutral, the logical mind is continuously interpreting and assigning meanings, going from positive to negative. And when you live in polarity, your mind leads you to judgment and you end up feeling like a victim of the circumstances. The logical mind is too small, too limited for you to trust everything it tells you. Remember, you are not your mind or your automatic thoughts. The mind is like an instrument, and if you haven't put it at your service, if you haven't trained your mind to do what you tell it to do, then it's very likely that you are sabotaging yourself daily without even realizing it. That's why most people insist on repeating that working very hard, fighting, and making an effort will give them the best results. But there are many things in this reality, in this society, that are backwards, and this is one of them. That's why I want to talk to you about leverage. What do I mean by this? I illustrated in this image, and I bring up again what I mentioned in a previous video. Archimedes, the famous Greek mathematician, physicist, engineer, astronomer, and inventor, is credited with establishing the concept of leverage more than 2,000 years ago. He claimed that with a lever long enough at a sufficient distance, he could lift the earth. Leverage replaces the obsolete and the efforts of the past, even though many people continue to live that way due to obliviousness. Leverage is a key element in this whole issue, and as we can see, there is nothing new about it. Leverage is using something to get the most out of it. Small forces can move large weights by means of a lever. This concept of leverage applies to business and life as well. Through leverage, you can gain disproportionate strength according to the concepts of the logical mind. You continuously hear me say in my live videos that we are beings with infinite potential. So, are you really gaining disproportionate strength? Or could it be that you are leveraging your potential, making unnecessary the effort and all that you were told about fighting and working very hard? I'm inviting you to reflect on this. Although, if you have already seen my videos live, and especially if you have had private sessions with me, you already know we can make immediate changes without effort. However, this could be new for others because many people believe that they have to have special gifts or be some kind of guru to have access to this. These are principles that have been used for millennia. This works, whether you believe it or not, you recognize it or not, because it doesn't depend on your belief system. These are physical laws. You can learn to use these principles to your advantage, or you can continue in the same way you have done so far. It's an option, and you can choose to use leverage or keep making efforts. The decision is yours. With the examples that I've mentioned in these videos, you already know how things go when you make efforts. In this context, leverage allows you to multiply gains because you're not resorting to your individual limited resources of the logical mind and the knowledge that you have accumulated in your life. This is where the deep self knowledge that you acquire through my subconscious mind mastery workshop comes in. When you are in your subconscious mind, you are not limited to the information you have accumulated through the logical mind. In the subconscious mind, we are limitless. And this is because we establish contact with the quantum field. This obviously allows you to bypass not only the limitations of the physical body in space time as perceived in this reality, but also the limitations that you got through social conditioning, upbringing, culture, the beliefs you learned from your family, and so many more things that we grew up with, but that aren't necessarily bringing benefits to our life. Instead, you live with worries. You have old problems that you think you cannot solve. Perhaps you have conflicts in your relationships or even with yourself, with your own life, where you feel dissatisfied, you feel some sort of emptiness or disconnection with yourself or with life. And perhaps you have even resigned yourself to continue living like that because despite having read self help books, having seen many videos where experts explain lots of things, you only filled yourself with theories. You even learned the names of the disorders, complexes, and psychological diagnosis. Perhaps you have even gone to conventional therapy and find yourself telling the same problem consultation after consultation without resolving much, without significant changes. This can lead to a lot of confusion and frustration. It's why people often say that they have tried everything and they still feel a void or a lack of meaning or purpose. And I will tell you again what I mentioned in a previous video. You have not found what you feel it's missing because you are looking on the outside. But the answers are inside you, in a place that you have not explored, that perhaps you have not even become aware that it exists. But in addition, leverage allows you to eliminate the sabotaging effect of the logical mind at will and permanently. Because once you learn this, or rather, once you unlearn all those limiting conditionings, not only do you free yourself from the shackles of the sabotaging mind, precisely because you have learned to govern it, but you also acquire mastery of your subconscious mind. This is a training that I facilitate several times a year. If you are interested in taking this workshop, write to the email that appears on the screen indicating your country. Check the information box for more details and links to other videos where I explain more about this subject. Drop your questions in the comment section below this video. I will be happy to answer you and take into consideration your requests for future videos. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and tap the notification bell in all so you receive a notice every time I post a new video where I share more insights and ways to improve your life. Thank you for watching. Until next time.